I was in the garage installing a new baby monitor when I heard my wife's voice come through the speaker. "He's in the garage. We have maybe 20 minutes." My hand froze on the screwdriver. Then I heard a man's voice. "In my living room, in the house I paid for." "You sure he won't come back in?" My wife laughed. That laugh I used to love. "Please, he's too stupid to notice anything. I could bring you here every day and he'd never figure it out." The man laughed too. "What about the baby monitor?" "He's setting it up in the garage like an idiot. He thinks he's so handy. Meanwhile, I've been texting you from the nursery for 3 months." My heart stopped. 3 months. Our daughter, Emma, was 4 months old. I looked down at the monitor in my hand, the one I'd just synced, the one that was now broadcasting every word from our living room directly into my ear. "How much longer are you going to string him along?" the man asked. "Until the paperwork is ready," she said. "My lawyer says 6 more weeks. Then I file, take the house, the car, and child support. He won't know what hit him." I stood there in my garage, surrounded by tools I'd collected over 15 years of marriage, listening to my wife plan my destruction. And then she said the thing that changed everything. "The best part? He thinks Emma is his." The screwdriver fell from my hand and clattered on the concrete floor. If you want to know what I did in the next 60 seconds that saved my entire life, hit subscribe, because what I heard next made me realize I wasn't just losing a wife, I was losing everything. My name is Ryan Mitchell. I'm 38 years old, and I live in Austin, Texas. I'm a senior software engineer at a tech company downtown. Good job, good salary, the kind of stable career that's supposed to be the foundation of a good life. I met my wife, Vanessa, 7 years ago at a friend's wedding. She was a bridesmaid, I was a groomsman. We danced, we laughed, we exchanged numbers. 6 months later, I proposed. A year after that, we got married in the same venue where we met. For 5 years, it was good. Not perfect, no marriage is, but good. We traveled, we bought a house in Cedar Park, we talked about starting a family. Then 2 years ago, Vanessa got pregnant. I cried when she told me. Happy tears, the kind that come from a place so deep you didn't know it existed. We painted the nursery together. Pale yellow walls, white furniture, a mobile with little elephants that played Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Emma was born on a Tuesday morning in March, 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect. I held her in the hospital and felt my entire world shift. Everything before that moment suddenly felt like prologue. This was the real story. This was what mattered.
I took 2 weeks of paternity leave. I changed diapers at 3 a.m. I learned to swaddle, to burp, to decode different types of cries. Vanessa seemed distant, but I chalked it up to postpartum recovery. Everyone said the first few months were hard. "She'll come around," my mom said. "Give her time." So I gave her time. I took on more of the household work. I cooked, cleaned, did laundry. I wanted to make things easier for her. I thought I was being a good husband. I didn't realize I was being a fool. The baby monitor was supposed to be an upgrade. We had an old one, basic audio, crackling connection. It worked, but barely. I'd researched for weeks and finally bought a new one. Video, 2-way audio, temperature sensor, night vision, top of the line. I was excited to set it up, excited to do something that felt useful. That Saturday morning, Vanessa said she was tired, asked if I could handle the installation while she rested. "Of course," I said. "Take a nap. I've got this." She smiled, kissed my cheek. "You're the best." I grabbed my tools and headed to the garage to prep the mounting hardware. The monitor had 2 units, one for the nursery, one portable receiver. I synced them both, tested the connection. That's when I heard it. Static. Then voices. I frowned. The nursery unit wasn't supposed to be on yet. I hadn't even mounted it. Then I realized the portable unit was picking up the base station I'd set up in the living room to test the range. And Vanessa's voice came through, crystal clear. He's in the garage. We have maybe 20 minutes. I stood there frozen, staring at the small screen in my hand. Then a man's voice. "You sure you won't come back in?" My wife laughed. "Please, he's too stupid to notice anything. I could bring you here every day and he'd never figure it out." My brain couldn't process it. This had to be a mistake, a crossed signal, someone else's conversation bleeding through. But then she said my name. Ryan's so focused on being super dad he doesn't see anything else. It's pathetic, really. The man laughed. "What about the baby monitor?" "He's setting it up in the garage like an idiot. He thinks he's so handy. Meanwhile, I've been texting you from the nursery for 3 months. 3 months. Emma was 4 months old. The math hit me like a freight train. "How much longer are you going to string him along?" the man asked. "Until the paperwork is ready. My lawyer says 6 more weeks. Then I file, take the house, the car, and child support. He won't know what hit him." I felt my knees go weak. I grabbed the workbench to steady myself. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. But then she said the thing that shattered everything. The best part? He thinks Emma is his. The screwdriver fell from my hand. The clatter echoed in the garage. On the monitor, I heard Vanessa pause. "What was that?" "Probably just him dropping something. He said he's clumsy." She laughed again. "Yeah, he is." I stood there, hand over my mouth, trying not to make a sound, trying not to scream, trying not to run inside, and no. I forced myself to breathe, to think. If I went in there now, if I confronted them, I'd lose. I'd be emotional, irrational. She'd spin it. She'd make me the bad guy. I needed proof. I needed a plan. I looked down at the monitor in my hand, and I pressed record. The new monitor had a feature I'd almost skipped: cloud recording, automatic backup of all audio and video to a secure server. I'd enabled it during setup, thinking it would be useful for checking on Emma when we weren't home. Now it was recording everything. I pulled out my phone, opened the app, and confirmed. The last 10 minutes of audio were already saved. My wife's voice, the man's voice, every damning word. I stood there in my garage, listening as they continued talking. "So what's the plan after you file?" the man asked. "I move into your place," Vanessa said. "Ryan keeps the house, for now, but with child support and alimony, he won't be able to afford it. He'll have to sell within a year. And then we buy it at a discount. He'll be desperate." The man laughed. "You're cold." "I'm practical," she corrected. "I gave him 7 years. I played the part. Now it's time to cash out." "What about Emma?" There was a pause. "What about her?" Vanessa said, voice flat. "You really think he's not the father?" Another pause, longer this time. "I don't know," she admitted. "Could be him, could be you, could be someone else." My stomach turned. "You don't know?" The man's voice had an edge now. "Does it matter?" Vanessa snapped. "Ryan's name is on the birth certificate. He's on the hook either way." "Jesus, Vanessa. Don't get squeamish on me now, Derek. This is what we planned." Derek. I knew that name. Derek Paulson, Vanessa's co-worker. I'd met him at a company holiday party 2 years ago. He'd shaken my hand, told me I was a lucky guy. I agreed. I listened for another 5 minutes. They talked logistics, when he'd leave, when they'd meet next, how to keep me in the dark. Then I heard movement. "I should go," Derek said, "before he finishes." "Yeah, text me when you get home." "I will." A pause, then sounds I didn't want to hear. Kissing. I turned off the monitor, saved the recording, and walked back into my house. Vanessa was on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She looked up when I walked in. "Hey, how's it going?" I forced a smile. "Good, just need to mount the camera in the nursery." "Need help?" "No, I've got it." I walked past her, up the stairs, into Emma's room.
She was asleep in her crib, tiny fists curled, chest rising and falling. I stood there, looking down at her. Was she mine? I didn't know. And in that moment, I realized something. It didn't matter. I'd been there when she was born. I'd held her, fed her, changed her, rocked her to sleep.
Biology might be a question mark, but fatherhood, that was already decided. I was her dad, and I was going to protect her. I mounted the camera, synced it, tested it. Then I went back downstairs. Vanessa was still on the couch. All done? Yep, works perfectly. Great. She didn't look up from her phone. I sat down next to her. Hey, can I ask you something? Sure. Are you happy with us, with our life? She studied my face. Why are you asking? I don't know, I want to make sure you're okay. Her expression softened. She reached over, touched my hand. I'm fine, Ryan, just tired. You know how it is with a baby. Yeah, I said, I know. She squeezed my hand. You're a good husband and a great dad. I looked into her eyes, and I saw nothing. No guilt, no remorse, no truth. Just performance. Thanks, I said. She went back to her phone. I went back to planning. That night, after Vanessa went to bed, I sat in my home office and made a list. Things I know. 1. Vanessa is having an affair with Derek Paulson. 2. She's planning to file for divorce in 6 weeks. 3. She's been meeting with a lawyer. 4. She's unsure if Emma is biologically mine. 5. She's planning to take the house, car, and maximum child support. 6. She thinks I'm too stupid to notice. Things I need. 1. Paternity test. 2. Divorce attorney. 3. Financial records. 4. More evidence. 5. A plan. I stared at the list for a long time. Then I added one more line. Rule number 1. She can't know I know. The next morning I acted normal. Made breakfast, changed Emma's diaper, kissed Vanessa goodbye when she left for work. Then I got to work. First, the paternity test. I ordered a discrete DNA kit online, express shipping. It would arrive the next day. Second, the lawyer. I called 3 firms, left messages, said I needed a consultation for a sensitive family matter. Third, finances. I logged into our bank accounts, started taking screenshots, every transaction, every balance, every statement going back 2 years. I noticed something immediately. Cash withdrawals, $200 here, $300 there, always on Fridays. I cross-referenced with my calendar. Every withdrawal lined up with a day Vanessa said she was working late. I documented everything. By noon, I had a file folder an inch thick. The first lawyer called back that afternoon. Her name was Margaret Stokes, 62 years old, 30 years of family law experience. Mr. Mitchell, she said, tell me what's going on. I told her everything. The monitor, the conversation, the affair, the plan. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, do you have recordings? Yes. Good. Email them to me encrypted. Okay. How's your relationship with your wife right now? She thinks everything is fine. Keep it that way. Don't confront her. Don't change your behavior. Act normal. That's the plan. Good, because here's what's going to happen. She's going to file. She's going to ask for the house, alimony, child support. She's going to paint you as an absent father or a bad husband. I'm neither. I know, but she'll try, and if you give her any warning, she'll prepare. She'll hide assets. She'll coach her story. We need the element of surprise. So what do? You wait, you document, and when she files, we hit back with everything. What about Emma, the paternity question? Margaret paused. That's complicated.
If you're on the birth certificate, you're the legal father. But if you want to challenge paternity, we can. It might affect child support." "I don't care about the money," I said. "I care about Emma." "Then we fight for custody, and we use the affair as evidence that she's not fit to be the primary parent." "Can we win? With what you have?" "Yes." For the first time in 24 hours, I felt something other than dread. I felt hope. The DNA kit arrived the next day. I waited until Vanessa left for work. Then I went into Emma's room. She was awake, looking up at me with those big blue eyes. "Hey, sweetheart," I whispered. I swabbed the inside of her cheek. Gentle, quick. Then I swabbed my own, sealed the samples, filled out the paperwork, and mailed it that afternoon. Results in 3 to 5 business days. I kept listening to the baby monitor, not obsessively, just strategically. I learned Derek came over every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, always when I was at work. I learned Vanessa had already picked out furniture for Derek's apartment. Our apartment, she corrected. Every conversation was recorded, backed up, saved. By the end of week 2, I had over 40 hours of audio. Margaret called it a prosecutor's dream. The DNA results came back on a Wednesday. I was at work when the email arrived. I stared at the subject line for a full minute before opening it. Paternity test results, confidential. My hand shook as I clicked. The report loaded. Pages of technical jargon, charts, percentages. I scrolled to the bottom. Conclusion: the probability of paternity is 99.97%. I read it 3 times. Emma was mine. Biologically, legally, completely mine. I put my head in my hands and cried, not from sadness, from relief. Whatever else happened, whatever Vanessa had done, Emma was mine, and no one was taking her from me. That night, I held Emma a little longer, fed her, rocked her, sang to her. Vanessa came home late, working late again. She smelled like cologne that wasn't mine. "How was your day?" I asked. "Exhausting," she said. "I'm going to take a bath." "Okay."
She disappeared upstairs. I sat in the living room, Emma asleep on my chest, and felt the weight of what was coming. The confrontation, the divorce, the custody battle. But I wasn't afraid anymore. I had proof. I had a lawyer. I had a plan. And most importantly, I had the truth. Week 4. Margaret called. "She's going to file soon. I can feel it." "How do you know?" "Because I've seen this 1,000 times. She's getting sloppy, confident. She thinks she's won." "So what do we do?" "We file first." I blinked. "What?" "We file first. Tomorrow. We catch her off guard." "But I thought—" "I know what I said, but the situation has changed. You have everything you need. And if we wait for her to file, we're playing defense. If we file first, we control the narrative." "What about the element of surprise?" "This is the surprise. She thinks she has 6 more weeks. We're going to hit her tomorrow." I took a breath. "Okay, let's do it." The next morning, I woke up early. Vanessa was still asleep. I got dressed, kissed Emma goodbye, left a note on the kitchen counter. Took an early meeting. "Be home tonight. Love you." Then I drove to Margaret's office. She had the papers ready. Petition for divorce. Request for full custody. Evidence of adultery. I signed every page. "What happens now?" I asked. "Now we file, and then we serve her." "When?" "Today." My stomach dropped. "Today?" "Today. At her office. In front of her coworkers, in front of Derek." I stared at her. "You're serious? You want to send a message? This is how you send a message." I thought about it for exactly 3 seconds. "Do it." At 4:27 p.m., Vanessa was served. I wasn't there. but Margaret's process server was. He walked into her office building, asked for Vanessa Mitchell, was directed to her desk, and handed her the papers in front of 15 coworkers, including Derek. Margaret called me 20 minutes later. It's done. How did she react? According to the server, she went pale, started shaking, asked if this was a joke. And he told her it wasn't. She has 30 days to respond. I sat in my car, hands on the steering wheel, and exhaled. What happens next? She'll call you, probably in the next hour. She'll be angry, maybe crying. She'll want to know why you didn't talk to her first. What do I say? Nothing. Don't answer. Let her leave voicemails. Let her text. Every message is evidence of her state of mind. Okay. Ryan? Yeah? You did the right thing. I hoped she was right. Vanessa called 17 times in the next 2 hours. I didn't answer. The voicemails started calm. Ryan, what's going on? Call me. Then confused. I don't understand. Why would you file for divorce? We can talk about this. Then angry. You can't just blindside me like this. I'm your wife. Then desperate. Please, Ryan, please call me. We need to talk about Emma. I listened to every message, saved every one, and didn't respond.
At 6 p.m., I came home. Vanessa's car was in the driveway. I walked in. She was sitting on the couch, papers spread around her, eyes red. Ryan, I held up a hand. Don't. We need to talk. No, we don't. I walked past her, up the stairs, into Emma's room. She was asleep. I picked her up gently. She stirred but didn't wake. I grabbed her diaper bag, her favorite blanket, a few changes of clothes. Vanessa appeared in the doorway. What are you doing? I'm taking Emma to my parents' house. You can't do that. I can, and I am. Ryan, please. I turned to face her. You told Derek I was too stupid to notice. You planned to take everything from me. You weren't even sure if Emma was mine. Her face went white. How did you? I pulled out my phone, opened the app, pressed play. Her voice filled the room. He's too stupid to notice anything. I could bring you here every day and he'd never figure it out. I stopped the recording. I heard everything, Vanessa. Every word, every plan, every lie. She opened her mouth, closed it. The baby monitor, she whispered. The baby monitor. Tears started falling. Ryan, I can explain. No, you can't. I walked past her, Emma in my arms, and headed for the door. Ryan, wait! I stopped, turned. You wanted a divorce, you got one. My lawyer will be in touch. And I left. The custody hearing was 3 weeks later. Vanessa's lawyer tried to paint me as vindictive, as a husband who couldn't forgive a mistake. Margaret played the recordings, all of them. Vanessa's voice clear as day, planning my destruction. The judge's face hardened with every word. When the recordings finished, Vanessa's lawyer had nothing. The judge awarded me full custody. Vanessa got supervised visitation every other weekend. She cried, begged, promised to change. The judge didn't budge. Mrs. Mitchell, he said, you treated your marriage like a business transaction. You planned to defraud your husband. You showed no remorse, no honesty, no integrity. He looked at me. Mr. Mitchell has demonstrated that he is the stable, loving parent this child needs. He banged his gavel. Custody awarded to the father. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my living room. Emma is on a playmat, reaching for a stuffed elephant. The house is quiet, peaceful. Vanessa moved in with Derek. Last I heard, they're taking a break. Turns out, when you build a relationship on lies, it doesn't last. I sold the house, bought a smaller place closer to my parents, started therapy, started healing. And every night I tuck Emma into bed, kiss her forehead, and tell her she's loved. Because that's what matters. Not the betrayal,
Not the lies, not the recordings or the lawyers or the custody battle. Just this, a father and his daughter, safe, together, home. If this story hit you, comment, "I heard everything." If you've ever been underestimated, if you've ever been called stupid by someone who didn't know you were 10 steps ahead, this one's for you. Hit subscribe for more stories about the quiet power of knowing when to listen and when to act. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't confrontation, it's documentation. And sometimes the best weapon isn't your voice, it's theirs.